down pre-gym, I typically like to have one meal before I go to train. Main reason because it's just like easier to train with not too much food in your stomach, depending how my schedule is. So if my schedule is a bit busier, then I'll try and have like a few like lighter snacks, I guess, and not too much of a heavy meal, maybe like 2 at most before I go to train. So that's just how I perform better when I go to the gym. So this is what I typically take normally in the morning. I used to say like current like stack I'm taking for I used to say supplements. You got, let's see, creatine here, vitamin C, multivitamin, vitamin D, fish oil, zinc. With like the creatine, I only take about 5 grams. I don't do any of this loading stuff or anything like that. I just take 5 grams every single day, year on, year out. I don't really break or anything like that. I don't really need to do any of that. Just keep taking it year in, year out. Yeah, like I said before, I don't take any protein powder as well for like a supplement, or I may just have like a ready-made shake after the gym from like the food store, because one, I just don't really think it's necessary for me to buy, because I really get a lot of my nutrients and my protein from whole food already, so I don't really see the point of it, and I don't really feel like spending on it anymore. I used to be quite big on protein powder, don't get me wrong, like when I was younger, but at the moment I just really find a lot more benefit in eating whole food and just getting more nutrients from that and feeling a bit more covered after I have my whole food. Don't get me wrong, I have a bit more time to obviously make my meals at the moment, but I don't really see a point right now in me having too much protein powder in my diet. So okay, so I just wanted to quickly go over my current split. So I train 5 days a week, and I like to break it up with 3 days on, 1 day off, that's a Thursday, and another day off on Sunday, or rest day, I'm gonna call it. So how I break that up is I typically like to do legs on Monday, back on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'll do probably deadlifts and some accessories regarding hamstrings. Friday I'll probably do chest and arms, and Saturday I'll do probably shoulders as well. So it's kind of like a bro split in a way, but I have 3 to 4 metcons a week. So Tuesday I'll have one, a metcon, and Wednesday I'll have one, Friday I'll have one. That's more like a class session. I've been really liking so far the classes in the evenings at One London, the gym I'm at, and on Saturday I'll probably try and do a class as well, the class that goes on in the morning at One London, but it kind of varies if I'm working or not on that day. If not, I'll probably do a metcon that I've seen online, and I'll divide it up and see like what's best for me to go around those exercises. But that's pretty much it. Overall with that, the metcons, I only do legs once a week and not too much volume, because I already get a lot of taxing already on my legs with doing those metcons already, because it is quite a lot of I should say like volumized with doing a lot of the bike, running, and also doing wobbles and air squats and thrusters as well when you go down and you do a barbell thruster. So there's a lot of, let's say, work on the leg especially, and also a bit on the shoulders as well. Your shoulders get quite tired as well. So with those things in mind, I try to incorporate, I'll probably try and do another back focused and maybe another chest volume days when I'm doing the deadlifts and the shoulders. But apart from that, that's my current split, and it's been working pretty good so far. I've been recovering pretty well with doing that, but I definitely trying to incorporate a bit more cold and like hot and cold treatment, because I find that's a really good way to recover overall for my next session. And when I'm during my rest days, I try not to do too much activity as possible, just to reduce the amount of effort I try and put out when I'm trying to rest, obviously on a rest day. But that's what's kind of looking like, and I'm probably going to be sticking to that for at least a couple more months or weeks, and I'll make chop and change of like how it goes with that. So that's pretty much how it's looking. Also, on when I do my legs, I typically like to do a squat variation. That'll be like a back squat or a front squat. If I haven't, then I like to do that on a Sunday, whether it's either a front squat or back squat. So if I had done the front squat on the legs day or when I'm supposed to do it, I'll probably do the back squat on the Saturday. And then it's interchange of like what day it falls on. So I just thought I'd throw that in there as well, because the deadlift and squat I'm kind of really focusing on at the moment in terms of a compound movement of like the big three, and I'm really liking of how it's progressing along with that. So good numbers to show, and just going up from there. One thing I wanted to touch on about my split was that's what works best for me, and that may not work best for somebody else, because everybody else is different, and you have to find what trial and error, what works best for you. My thing is a bro split, and I connect both on the bro split and the functional training, and that works best for me, and plus some more strength as well with the compound movements. And somebody else may need push-pull legs or something like that for the training to work best for them to make progress. Now, like I said beforehand, trial and error. Try bro split. If it doesn't work, try push-pull legs. Try doing chest and back or something like that. So it's just really about trial and error, and see what progress you make from that specific training regime.
I'm gonna be needing a new bag soon. Yeah, this one's been great, but so I think it's like 5 years I think I've had this. But yeah, but I think it's some time for a change for me.
So today I'll be going over a back workout, and I'll probably be doing a voiceover probably about, because I want to detail some important points that I think that are necessary to talk over of what I'm trying to do for each exercise, and how to I guess add in a few better positions for where your elbow is supposed to go down, and what I'm specifically doing for each exercise. And also, I recently got finally some new wireless earphones, because I was dealing with the wired Apple ones for a while, and I went with the Beats Studio earbuds, I think they're called. I wanted the Apple Pros, but I'm not spending fucking 250 quid or like 200 pounds on some earphones, and these were only like these are a lot cheaper. I got them on Amazon. I think they were about 80 quid from 140, so I really got a good saving with that. I think it was like a Black Friday deal they had for that. But yeah, it's been pretty good, the sound quality, and also the noise cancellation, which is really what I wanted as well. So yeah, I can't complain about that. But yeah, I'll see you in the next clip. Yes, people, and welcome back to another voiceover. Today, we'll be going over pretty much the main movements for when I train back, usually. So whenever I'm doing back, I always like to start off with a type of lat predominant exercise, with just getting more emphasis on the contraction for when I'm warming up. So when I do the main movements, the main part of my back, which is the lats, predominantly is already fired up and ready to go for really, I guess, like a pre-exhausting exercise. So I get a lot more activation for doing the certain exercises from my back routine. Now, I normally like to do a single arm pull down, typically with a cable. I find this exercise a lot better if you're kind of resting on a bench, because you get really firmly locked in position. I mean, the kneeling down on one knee right here is good as well, but I think that you can get a lot more benefit with using a bench. Now, going on to the Pendly row, I haven't done this movement in a while, and I'm not too sure why, because I used to do it a lot, but I just kind of stopped for a while and just stuck to just normal barbell rows. But I really get a good activation in the middle of my back for specifically like the rhomboids area, for that really thickness part of the back. And I guess like some important points for this exercise are, you don't want to go too heavy, because then you kind of got like me at the end with trying to do a bit too much momentum, because you can use quite a lot of momentum for this exercise, and then you're getting too much of your traps, and then maybe some lower back involved, so just too much jerking, which is not for the movement, which is not what you want. And here, going on to a dumbbell row. Now, when I start off with the dumbbell row, I predominantly like to set up my position with using a bench, mainly because you can really get a good position for like placing your hand with adjusting the bench to however height you want it. So that could be depending of like how tall you are as well, for like a really good setup. And I like to start the dumbbell off quite a bit more further away from me, because I want to feel there's a tension in the lat and a stretch happened already, if that makes sense, for when I'm gonna pull the dumbbell back in kind of like a curved manner, driving my elbow back towards my hip to create maximum fluidity with the movement. But so and now going on to a chest supported row. I got this from Nick Trigilli and Bodybuilding BS. What you want to do is go not too heavy with this movement, but you really want to think about trying to drive your elbows down towards your hip area, and really focus on just basically that squeeze of when you're at the top of the movement for this exercise. And don't go too heavy, because then you get too much momentum with trying to get your chest off of the pad, which is not what you want. Now, for this cable row, now with this, you can get away with this exercise with doing a little bit of swinging, but not like too much of where you're tensing up your neck. You want to try and have your whole lats just basically really loose, and just do all of the movement and the drive with elbows, and use your hands as hooks pretty much for this movement. So now, using a larger rope or a longer rope is a lot better, or if you have two ropes, just put them together and make a big long rope, because you can get a lot more of a connection with either these face pulls that I'm doing now. And I like this one because you're kind of in a seated position and it's right directly above you, so you're getting maximum effect for the rear delts and also the upper back as well, which is what we want when we're doing face pulls, and less momentum when we're doing them if we're standing. and now I'm just finishing off with some pull-ups. And here I'm doing them as strict as possible because I really wanted to not incorporate as much momentum with trying to finish off each rep, and just have a really good connection with my lats for each pull-up, and make this movement for the finisher as hard as possible. And as you can see here, I'm tiring out a little bit, but in the end, I tried to use not much momentum. And it's already, I think it's about almost 4, and it's already dark now. That's the one thing I don't really like when it comes to winter time, especially in the UK. It gets dark way too early, and it's quite cold as well. It's windy, and then thank God it's not raining as well. But when it's, I would say, sunny and a bit cold, that's when it's a bit more nicer and a bit more content. So now we've come to the end of the video. I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed it and gotten any tips from the back routine I did. Comment down below pen if you watched the whole video, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube, and also follow me on davidwlifts, and I'll see you in the next one.